Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Saturday, September 29th, and this is our special look at Vegas Baby. Haven't done this one in quite a while, but Vegas stocks are one of my favorites. Certainly, all kinds of money to be made on Vegas, even if you're not there. And away we go. Looking at Caesars, MGM, Las Vegas Sands, WYNN, Boyd, and Williams. Alright, so I guess we'll start off with the weakest, which is Caesars. And Caesars has definitely overtaken Boyd as being the worst of the worst when it comes to Vegas stocks. And anybody who has watched the series on Vegas Baby going back the last year or two, Caesars came out. It did okay initially, and but we said that this was one not to trust, that there was all kinds of undisclosed dates where people were going to be able to dump shares, and certainly that has come to fruition, and they're not finished yet. So high up here in the almost $16 area, and now closing just shy of $7. Absolutely horrible. So the question becomes, when does this one become a buying opportunity? Is it one currently? And the answer would be no. We can see we are trending below all of the long-term moving average bar, and there's no sign of let up. You've had the 14-day RSI moving average just chop around. You've had the stochastics bounce around, but overall, there is nothing here. Nope, nothing here. And looking at Friday's close, down once again, spinning top. So in absolutely no signs of strength whatsoever. We have a current floor down here just sub 650. And that has to be retested at some point. It's tried a couple times, getting a little bit of a bounce, but it will come back to that area, I do believe. Very short term, you do have things trying to trend up, but look how weak that is. It's not even close to the previous high. Just a matter of time. Secondary reset underway. 14-day RSI moving average, when that one turns down, you'll have another test of the floor. Nothing to see here. As a matter of fact, just to be thorough, look at the internal structure of volume, and the two most important, accumulation distribution, on balance volume, both pointing down. You do have three greens, but without the two big boys, there's no way I would even consider doing anything with this sucker except for shorting it. And it is so low from its high that I wouldn't even be too interested in shorting it. But yeah, it breaks the current low. Some bad news comes out. Maybe that it wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. Moving on to our second weakest Vegas stock, Boyd. Boyd Gaming. I actually like these guys. I like some of the properties that they have. Traditionally, they have been among the weakest in Vegas. No China exposure, no really anything. But they have had this very nice run since the end of July, going all the way from just above $5 up to $7. And what else do we see? Well, we see that everything, with the exception of the CCI and the RSI, is pointing up, which isn't too bad. But beyond that, we have this little channel here that seems to be fairly accurate. It actually is closer to an ascending wedge, and we can see that it is just knocking on the top of it and could have a breakout. We do have some problems in the heat map, but it is trying to break out, and that's not too bad. Certainly can get turned away at this moment, but if it's able to break through here, it would be going to the 7.5 area. If it's able to break that, be going to the $8 area, and then after that it could get interesting and try once again. This was amazing when it was up here at the 950 area. I couldn't believe it, but if you can get through all of that, it actually will have a shot. And here we can see what I'm really talking about. All this area where people were buying $7 area before it broke down, and it's right into the teeth of that resistance. So can it break through it? Sure would take a lot, but I suppose it's possible. And in its favor, internal structure of volume, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 greens. So this is good. The internal structure of volume on Boyd, absolutely positive. That's not going to be the same everywhere, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to show it. And moving on to MGM. And we have this channel. We're going to see this on all of the Vegas stocks for the most part, where we have this channel. It's bouncing around inside of the channel, currently coming off of the bottom, but is it going to get all the way back up to the top? I really doubt it. And the reasoning for it is this: 14-day RSI moving average moving down. We're currently underway with the partial secondary reset. Fast stochastic moving up, slow stochastic moving up, CCI trying to move up, the MACD histogram trying to move up, still moving down on the RSI, the MACD, and the, of course, the 14-day RSI moving average. So this one probably muted, and if we can get back to the 1150 area, it'll probably be running out of gas. By that time we'll have whatever's going to get to the top, and then it can move to the bottom. So weak. And here we're going to be able to see really what I'm talking about. You have all of this resistance level here at $11. Yeah, it's been pierced, but I still think that's going to be a pretty big hurdle. And beyond that, at the 1150 area, where you have the upper price consensus levels for the months of June and July. So 1150, that's what I'd be looking for. Of course, a break of the ascending channel, very, very negative. There is some support down here at about the 970 area, 980 area. And of course, if that breaks, this sucker is in big trouble, going to be going down to test the current floor at $9, and the internal structure of volume is not good. Not good. We can see accumulation distribution just went negative. Very bad sign. You can see that the volume weighted MACD went negative. This one is choppy, but it is a negative. And the unbalanced volume is creeping in towards a bearish cross. That would be hugely negative. I'm on the watch for that to occur. And we're negative on the dual volume flow, also negative. So 3 reds, 2 greens, and one of the greens is very close to turning red. This looks bad, and certainly the bounce that it's had off the bottom trend line is not wonderful. And for a perspective on pivots, very interesting. You could look at this and you could say, oh, we have an inverse head and shoulders. It's really sloppy if it is. Shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder being lower. But, and actually, I prefer this one. But if you do that, then it becomes extra sloppy, where you have shoulder, head, shoulder. and that just is not clean. I mean, you could get potentially about $1 after 10 area, which would bring it up to about 1170, which actually is right here. So if you were going off of that, that has already accomplished itself, and we're coming back down. The question at this point becomes, you have a new low pivot here. Where is your new high pivot? And can it break this one? I personally don't think that it can. Certainly it can come up to about here, crap out, at which time you'll have a lower high, and a very strong case for making a new lower low, at least in the case of this pivot here and this pivot here. So, intermediate term MGM does not look very good. And LVS, one of the best, strongest Vegas stocks. They are expanding like crazy and adding debt to their balance sheet. We can see that we currently have secondary reset underway. 14-day RSI moving average holding high. Stochastics on the way up. CCI, yeah, clicking down on Friday, but really trying to come up to the top along with the RSI, and backing off of the histogram, and the MACD just holding pat. You can see that we're midway into the channel at the moment, just waiting for a catalyst that brings it down. It hasn't been able to conquer the 200-day moving average. It also has not reached its previous high from a little bit about a week ago, a week and a half ago. Definitely showing some reluctance to go higher. Beyond that, you have negative divergence, MACD histogram, negative divergence, RSI, and that's it. Now this one does have a few things going for it. It does have resistance above, but it does have support below. Support would take it into the 43 and sub 40 areas. Actually sitting on a little bit of resistance or support at the moment, but I think that that's fairly weak since it has been pierced. And we have the major resistance above, just shy of 48, which it has not been able to conquer. This one very easily could come back down to 40 once it has a catalyst to do so. And but beyond that, you're looking at the 36 area. Yep. Definitely. Definitely. 36 area. That's the one that's massively important. I don't know how it could possibly break that in the intermediate term, but certainly looks like a natural stopping point if it's able to come down in strength. And the internal structure of volume. Very interesting. Since this one has been so darn strong, you would think that, well, you would have some strong trends here. Volume price trend certainly is pointing up and looks nice. But accumulation distribution going negative. Whipsaw on the volume weighted MACD. Some weakness in the unbalanced volume, although it is still green. And turning negative on the dual volume flow. So, you have two very rock hard negatives at the moment. Indecision in one, possible weakness in another, potentially to go red, and one very strong green. Definitely more positive than negative, but this is one of the two best, if not the best, in all of the Vegas stocks. So I would be skeptical of the down moves until they are proven. And WYNN, what many people consider to be the strongest, although growth-wise, it is not. It is the second strongest. You can see that we have very nice movement up on everything, with the exception of the RSI holding high. And you'll also notice that it is near the top of this channel. And it has broken the 200-day moving average. So, chart-wise, this one is the strongest at the moment. Absolutely. They have the best balance sheet, that's for sure. And we can also see that there's lots of support below where we are currently, and only one area of resistance up here at 125 that looks significant. So, intermediate term, WYNN looks the best. And looking at the internal structure of volume, yeah, how about that? We have 0 reds. 0. All greens, 5 greens. So, position, structure, resistance and support. Currently, WYNN by far is the best. And Williams Systems. These are the guys that make all of the, or at least many of the gambling machines, the slot machines. You can see that we do have a channel here, and it has broken down. Attempting a back test of it, not succeeding. Coming into the long-term moving average bar and being rejected. You have a secondary reset underway with the RSI moving up, fast stochastic moving up, CCI moving up. 14-day RSI moving average, though, is moving down along with the MACD histogram. MACD is just going sideways. This does not look good. And the reason why we look at this is because the machines, the sale of the machines, is a tell on Vegas as a whole, on the gambling industry as a whole, because if the casinos are buying machines, they're doing well, and when they're not buying, you can see it here. Matter of fact, this could be a bearish flag here after it broke the bottom of the channel, comes up and then drops. I would be looking for that. Certainly it will not be good for the Vegas stocks as a whole if that occurs. And looking at recent volume, where things were bought, this one's kind of interesting. It actually is right above support, and it's holding it, but that's all it has. There's lots above it that's significantly higher than where it is now. So a little bit interesting. Everything seems to point in the direction of there's definitely problems here, but there isn't too much to stop it if it were to want to go up. Not till about the $20 level, just sub 20 also. So very, very interesting. And if we look at the internal structure of volume, you can see how bad it truly is. Getting a new red on the accumulation distribution, red on the volume price trend, red on the volume weighted MACD, new red on the dual volume flow. The only one holding up is the on balance volume. That sucker turns red. This one is going to dump. So yet another thing to be curious or concerned about if you like Vegas stocks. So, what would what would my take on this be? Well, it would be that it is definitely weak. It definitely could break down. If it does break down, that is a tell that the weak Vegas stocks are going to get hurt. Certainly less so on WYNN, perhaps less so on LVS, but certainly Caesars, MGM, and Boyd would be looking at problems if this one decides to fall apart. And that's going to be it. Good little look into Vegas, baby. And as always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.